Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE are being sued for quote-unquote unfair and anti-competitive practices.
Potential spoilers in the Royal Rumble surprise entrance category.
An AEW Originals contract might be expiring soon.
And a major WWE star is set to miss WrestleMania. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Lawsuits. This is something else. Broke overnight, became public. Lawsuit's been published, it's available. We've actually got quite a comprehensive write-up on this on our website, which is where you should go if you want like the full details. We've got the link to the actual lawsuit, we've got MLW's statement, WWE's statement, everything else is there. We can only go into so much detail in the news video, so I'll preface the story by saying that. But the crux of the lead story today is that MLW are suing WWE for a bunch of different reasons. So as per the preliminary statement in this suit, they are suing them for poaching talent, misappropriating confidential information, interfering with competitors' contracts, and cutting off competitors' access to their viewing audiences. So that last part of it there, where they say cutting off competitors' access to their viewing audience, it means a bunch of deals here that MLW has alleged WWE came in and kiboshed, basically. One of them is with...
Nice use of kibosh.
Kibosh. Well, we've already capered around a little bit this morning, so we might as well bring out the big words. One of them was with Tubi, a platform that MLW had allegedly agreed a distribution deal with in July of last year. It was due to be announced publicly on the 10th of August. Stephanie McMahon allegedly had a meeting with officials from the platform the day before that, and apparently, according to the suit, allegedly, we're going to say that word a lot here, pressurized them into pulling out, as it would have gone head to head. The MLW content would have gone head to head with NXT on Tuesday nights. Another deal that alleged WWE interference led to the cancellation of was one with Vice. Apparently Vince McMahon himself was pissed to hear that Vice was going to work with MLW because they aired the Fightland special in October. There was more seemingly in the works. That didn't come to pass. The deal was cancelled. Vince McMahon apparently using his relationship with A&E, who own a 20% stake in Vice, to pressurize that, get it kiboshed. This is all allegedly, gonna say that word again. And another one, apparently Fight TV had allegedly approached MLW with a view to distributing company content, I guess, on their platform. They were pulled out. More alleged WWE interference, WWE getting involved. MLW are pointing to Greg Bernard, who was a senior vice president in WWE. He has since left the company and working for Fight as well. They've pointed towards him, and as well the fact that Fight has previously distributed WWE content as well. Now, with regards to poaching talent, the suit states that as well as airing footage of an unnamed wrestler without MLW's permission, WWE has previously attempted to coerce MLW wrestlers into revealing information on the company's business. So MLW has released a big statement on the matter. It's on our website. They're looking for an undisclosed amount of compensation that will be determined through the trial. WWE have responded to this with a brief statement. WWE believes these claims have no merit and intends to vigorously defend itself against them. Shoutouts to WrestleNomics Brandon Thurston, who did a usually tremendous job of summarizing all this information, but the full suit is available publicly. I'm well aware I've rabbited for a long time, but it's a lot of info.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know, even legally, if I'm allowed to speculate on this. It's a fascinating development. It's something, it's fair to say, allegedly, again, WWE has a bit of history with this sort of thing. That doesn't necessarily mean anything in relation to this case.
That's not even allegedly, is it? Look at the British embassy.
But we can't really say a great deal more than just sort of present the facts and maybe me do a bit of objection, sustained, sidebar, guilty sort of stuff, because I don't know what I'm legally allowed to say or whether I should say anything.
Yeah, I mean, we can't sit here on the video and go, hey, they definitely screwed these business deals over or whatever. That will be, I guess, discussed and picked apart in court. WWE's competitive history is what it is, however.
Yes.
If you go back all the way back to the territorial era, the national expansion, stuff with the British Indies over the past couple of years. I know a lot of people don't like hearing this stuff, but it's right there. Read Depth of the Territories if you've never read it before. WWE, they're not, often people sit here and go, oh, what if WWE worked with this company and blah, blah, blah. History tells us that doesn't often work out well for the other company. So we'll see how this thing goes.
Exactly. We'll keep you updated on all developments with this. It's going to be really interesting to see how this one goes forward. But let's move on to a story we can speculate on, and that is potential surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble match. Specifically, this time the Women's Royal Rumble match. A report from PW Insiders, Mike Johnson, claiming that Melina and Cameron Grimes... No, wait a second. No. Cameron, that makes more sense, could be planned to return for the event on the 29th of January. Melina, obviously, been going off doing loads of stuff outside of WWE for years now. Also, a very lovely person. Met her over WrestleMania weekend a few years back. She last appeared on that Legend show in January 2021, I believe. Cameron, of course, did a little bit in AEW in that women's tournament. She last appeared in WWE in February of 2016. I think, by my last count, Andy, we are at 19 women confirmed for the Women's Royal Rumble match. What do you reckon to these two potential surprises?
Yeah, Melina in particular, I think, is a really good one. Because
Love her.
She's got a load of tenure with the company from back in the day. There was talk of them trying to re-sign her, I think, in late 2020, but it didn't. Melina herself said they couldn't come to an agreement or whatever. So, yeah, that's really cool. Cameron, as well, hasn't been on WWE TV in ages. So why the hell not? You've still got 11 spots to fill. This might as well be 2 of them.
Yes. I mean, if you wanted to fill 2 specific spots, I can think of 2 people who I'd like to see fill those spots, but it's early. I want to save people's ears today. I'll be nice for once. But yeah, very exciting. I love this time of year. For all that WWE does, I forgive it at the end of January because I just bloody love the Rumble and surprises.
My most looked forward to pay-per-view of the year from any company. Love the Royal Rumble. Yeah, this is such a cliche, but even a bad Royal Rumble's a good Royal Rumble, right?
Because it's a Rumble,
time. Yeah, it's a good time. It could be a complete convoluted mess, but if I get 2 fun surprises, if some mid-carder I watched 5 years ago shows up, I'm going to pop.
No offense to him, but back in the day, I was very much meh. But when Carlito returned, I was like, lads, Carlito's back.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if it's people you're not particularly fond of or you didn't have like a fandom for, they come back and you're like, like it's just it's a fun time. Yeah. It's a fun time, man. We love the Rumble.
It's great. Can't wait. What were you, like 2.5 weeks away? Something like that?
We are indeed. Looking forward to it. Saturday night as well.
Oh!
Saturday night.
Yes!
Shout out to Elton John. It's all right for fighting. Speaking of fighting, wrestling is simulated fighting, and here's another story about wrestling. Fightful Select coming through with the report.
Allegedly. Oh, sorry, I just realised what we were saying. No crap, just Sap. Sean Ross Sapp, sorry, sir.
There we go.
From Fightful Select. Apologies there. I got so used to legally covering ourselves. I thought, oh, no, it's Peter Avalon.
We're recording at 5 a.m, ladies and gentlemen. It's a mess.
No crap, just Sap. Sean Ross Sapp.
There we go. Fightful Select coming through with the report here. Peter Avalon's contract might be expiring soon. So they learned in mid-December, the outlet did, that Avalon's contract was to expire sometime within the next few weeks, as in the next few weeks from now. They haven't heard any further updates on the situation since then. Now, AEW, when contacted, said they don't discuss talent contracts. Fair enough. Peter Avalon has not yet responded to a request for comment on the matter. That being said, Avalon has, however, been booked for an upcoming Dark taping. So he had pulled out of Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise due to this, which is an event that was due to go down on the 15th of January. Now, Avalon's effectively an AEW original. He's been in the company. Well, his signing was announced on an episode of Being the Elite in April 2019, so he's been there a while. Primarily a lower card role, mostly been on Dark Elevation. Had the librarian thing with Leva Bates for a while, had the feud where the gimmick was none of these guys are capable of winning a match with Brandon Cutler, which was tremendously funny on Dark and Elevation. And he's mostly on YouTube shows. He's in the Wingmen, who I think are a good heel jobber unit.
I want to see more of them.
Yeah, they're funny. Like they're good at getting their ass kicked and whatever. You need good jobbers, and I think they're good at that role. But yeah, situation with Peter Avalon's future there. He's 32 years old. He's quite experienced, veteran of the SoCal indie scene in particular. We'll see what's next for him. Don't like to report on anyone potentially losing their jobs.
No.
But I'm sure more information will come on this.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he shouldn't be signed again or anything like that. It's one of those things that's going to be really interesting over the next coming weeks, months, and years with AEW. There was such fanfare with them signing people and not firing people throughout a pandemic, etc. But it comes to a point, and this is not me speaking about Peter Avalon specifically, but just on the wider roster thing. You look at that roster and you go, it's kind of bloated now.
Yes.
Granted, I don't really see a lot of Peter Avalon. I don't watch the YouTube shows, but you always mention that he's a regular appearance on Dark. And like you say, he's got a role to play as a jobber thing, and no doubt he's heavily involved backstage and with being the elite and what have you. So we'll wait and see with that one. But like you say, you never want to report on anything like this.
No. And the AEW's thing for ages has been we're not releasing people in the middle of the contracts unless it's for an exceptional circumstance. So disciplinary issues or Sadie Gibbs and Bea Priestley couldn't get to the shows. That's been their philosophy since day one. They've stayed true to it. There's a bunch of contracts due to expire this year. Some will be renewed, some will not, and we will cover them as they emerge.
Right, let's conclude by talking about the major star that is set to miss WrestleMania. And it's John Cena of all people. It's not confirmed that he's definitely going to miss it. But speaking on the Ellen DeGeneres show, he basically talked about the fact that his diary's filling up. He's a big Hollywood star now, and he's very good at it, in my opinion, now.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the 12 Rounds franchise, but the Suicide Squad and all stuff like that, great.
Yeah.
And he's speaking on Ellen DeGeneres. He's obviously getting lots of opportunities coming his way. He was in F9, let's not forget as well. And he said, WrestleMania is usually on the cusp of late March, early April. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. He continued, I will tell everybody watching, I'm not done with WWE by a long shot. That's my home. I love it. I've far from had my last performance, but he seems to be making noises that he will not be at the show on the 2nd and 3rd of April in Texas. Of course.
Yeah. I think always when a pro wrestler is interviewed, particularly in such a mainstream platform, it's good to take it with a pinch of salt. Remember, these people are professional liars. They are trying to con you into believing it's an act, and they're always working. So, if John Cena had been booked for WrestleMania behind the scenes, he wouldn't sit there and go, Ellen, I'm going to be there. And
not only that, it's going to be a real surprise.
Yeah, but also it wouldn't be a surprise if he missed it because he's a busy guy. He's doing acting and stuff.
And we had him at SummerSlam and what have you. So.
Yeah, we had the Summer of Cena last year, which was a complete business success. It popped some nice TV numbers. It increased ticket sales almost everywhere he went. It was a very good little run in the SummerSlam match with Roman Reigns. Was very well received. I'm at the phase of my fandom with John Cena where I love it when he shows up. I think everyone of our age went through that period of going, John Cena's being overpushed and everything else. But he's definitely settled into the, hey, John, I missed you, buddy. Welcome back.
Yeah, I have to admit, we were there at WrestleMania 35 when the Doctor of Thugonomics came out, and we thought, is this the best WrestleMania we've ever been to? Well, it was for me. It was my first one, so there you go.
It's definitely in the top 1 out of 1 I've ever been to, for sure.
But yeah, I think he plays the perfect role nowadays, and if he does miss WrestleMania, I'm sure that he will be back eventually, because as he said, he's still got such love for it. I think he's really struck that balance perfectly between, leaving to go and do Hollywood stuff, but still maintaining that love for right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE, of course. Rahul V. Krishnan says, if you guys could pick one match from NXT 2.0 to be on WrestleMania this year, or one star we could pick as well, which superstars would you just put on a show at the grandest stage of them all?
I think a lot of people will say Braun Breaker for this.
Yes, Rahul says Braun Breaker versus Walter for the NXT title.
Good grief. That would be fun. And that's a good answer for sure. Braun Breaker.
Should we pick one person each and make a match out of it?
Let's do it. Carmelo Hayes is my pick.
Yes!
I just think, even though he said rest in piss last night, interesting, he comes off so well on TV. He had a great match with Roddy Strong last week. The act with Trick Williams is awesome.
Yes.
I think Carmelo Hayes is, for me, not necessarily for everyone else, the best overall act on NXT 2.0.
I realise I'm biased, but we have sort of stumbled into a match that they seemingly are going for anyway, relatively soon on NXT for the North American Championship, because I was always going to pick Carrigas, baby, to the moon. And it's a gimmick, but it's also a genuine love I have for this man because I think he's insanely talented as well.
So what are we doing? What matches are we doing? Fantasy book.
Yeah, I think they could do a wild ladder match between these two for the North American Championship.
2.0 showcase, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Why not?
Really excited. Let us know which 2.0 stars you'd like to see wrestle at WrestleMania
Wendy
this year.
Chu. How aboard the choo-choo train now last night.
Orange Cassidy wears Wendy Chu pajamas. Fact. That's going to be fun.
I'll tell you what, if Wendy Chu comes down in denim onesie next week, I'm here for it, 100%.
Second question today comes from a man with a great name and a great handle on Twitter, Kyle Tonks. At
like
Uncle Goat Boy on Twitter. Who do you think will win in the Wardlow and CM Punk match, and why will it be Wardlow?
Ooh, bold prediction. I think it's going to be CM Punk. I think that they're going to use a Wardlow loss to further the tension between MJF and Wardlow. I think MJF's going to come out and go, you couldn't get the job done, War Dog, and that'll pull them even further apart and continue that ongoing storyline thread, which I think will result in some kind of turn at some point, whether it's tonight or whether it's in a couple of months. I think that's what they're going to go with. There's a lot you can do with it, whether it's a screwy finish or a clean finish. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting the turn yet. I think they're going to do the whole Jamie Hater, Britt Baker stuff, so I think to not muddy the water there, Wardlow will still align himself with MJF. But I think you're right, unfortunately, as much as I love Wardlow, as much as he is an absolute piece, CM Punk shouldn't be losing to Wardlow.
Not yet.
MJF should beat CM Punk.
You got time to push Wardlow.
Yeah, exactly. David Japuntich. Apologies if I've butchered shit in
Apologies.
Apologies if I've butchered your name and you the word apology.
Porridge. Okay.
For those who have, it's an interesting question this. For those who have started losing their hair, do you recommend, I assume they're asking you here, Andy, shaving completely clean like Kurt Angle, growing a goatee like Steve Austin, or compensating by going full George the Animal Steel?
It depends on the shape of your head. For me, it depends on the shape of your head, right? Some guys can rock the total cue ball clean gimmick. Michael Chiklis in The Shield is a good example of that. Looks like a bad
was he in
mother
The Shield?
hubbard.
I missed that. Was that when Reigns couldn't wrestle at TLC?
That's the one. He stepped in. Shut up, man. That's too perfect. Some people suit that. Some people do not suit the full cue ball look. Harland. Me, personally, when I shave the head, I don't really have the face for like a non-facial hair gimmick. I look like a little baby, and I hate it, hence why I've got the fluff.
Yeah.
It's entirely down to you. A good way to trial it is just shave your head, go for it. You can join the club. The bald community is very welcoming, accommodating. Shave that. Maybe grow a little stubble. Maybe grow a little, a little shadow. That way you can trial it out. You can get a feel for whether or not it's going to suit you. If it's stubble, it's going to look more like a beard within like a week anyway. So you're on your way. If not, you can just shave it off. Trial run, my friend.
Great tips.
That's how we do it.
And don't get me started on hair transplants. Let's move on to today's
Roberto Martinez.
And finally, and a man who I have loved for a long time, a WCPW legend. I just want to celebrate the fact he's doing so well for himself. Speedball Mike Bailey. He tweeted overnight, I made my debut with Impact Wrestling at Hard to Kill. It was also my first match in the US in over 5 years. He's had a lot of issues outside of the ring. He says, I feel so blessed and thankful for the opportunity to perform in such a motivating environment. I'm just getting started. I will get even better. Let's get it. Fantastic news. Great to see him on Hard to Kill. And he was always someone who, having seen him in WCPW, I'd pick as one to watch. I think he's going to be a megastar in the next 5 years, this guy.
In PWG's Battle of Los Angeles this month as well. Good to hear that all his visa crap has been cleared up. He's able to compete in the United States again. He was really cut off, wasn't he? When that all kicked in, he was just catching
for
fire.
our benefit, granted.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to the UK.
Go to the UK and be awesome, and go to Japan and be awesome and stuff. But he's back in the US. Good for him. Very happy for an earnestly nice guy. And looking forward to seeing what he does going forward.
Earnestly nice and absolutely terrifying with his strikes at the same time. Yeah. Go and watch. If you do one thing today, go and watch a Speedball Mike Bailey WCPW match. I would recommend you one, but I'd probably just say all of them because they were just mint as far as I remember. So congratulations to him. Great to see what he does next. Let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. For daily wrestling podcasts, we're going to be reviewing NXT 2.0 and look ahead to AEW Dynamite tonight. Myself and the Dudley Boys, of course. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts, Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hair transplants are the coward's way out, Wayne Rooney.
You can follow
That's
me.
a shoot.
At Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at
I'll fight Wayne Rooney.
WWE. But for now, my thanks, Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Ball.